Good afternoon, teacher. It is a project, The Mystery of Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was one of the most famous women in American history. She did things that no other woman had ever done before. Amelia Earhart was born in 1880, before the airplane was invented. She was a great airplane pilot at a time when the airline industry was still young. The planes in Amelia's day had propellers that pulled the aircraft through the air. There were no jets in her day, and certainly no woman would fly through the skies like she did. Amelia was the first woman who crossed the Atlantic Ocean by plane. She set many flying records, but she had one dream: to be the first person to fly around the world. It was July 2, 1938. The world was watching. It was the most dangerous feat and young had ever played. To fly 2 miles around the world, much of it over the ocean, stopping for fouling food and water in select places. It had to be planned. She thought the plane would not run out of fuel as it crossed jungles and mountains and the largest bodies of water on the earth. In a small plane with two propellers, Amelia took off with her navigator, Fritz Nunang, and the age of 3 nights she was starting on an adventure that no one had ever tried before. The time was going like clockwork. By July 1, she had completed 22 miles every day. The headlines in the newspaper told of journey, with maps showed where she had landed. There was no television, but the radio was continually sending out reports of their location. The world watched in fascination and pledged that she would occultly be the first person ever to circle the earth. Amelia had only 7 miles to go, but the hardest and most dangerous part of the journey remained. She was on the island of New Guinea, just north of Australia, and she had to fly 25 miles before stopping on Howland Island, a tiny town in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. There was no room of error on this lake of the type. It was only ocean until she got there. Her navigator out the be perfect, or the one run out of fuel and crashed into the sea. At 4:05 a.m. on July 2, 1937, a message from Amelia came into the Coast Guard ship's radio room. They were on the ship task and shore near Howland Island, and were excited that Amelia was on schedule. Cloudy weather called sight Amelia over the radio, but the voice was faint and could hardly be heard over the crackle of the radio. The crew was excited. In less than 5 hours, Amelia would be with them. Other messages comes in from the plane, but they were short and the crew could determine the location of the plane. She could be close by 700 miles away, but face open, going in the wrong direction. At 7:58 a.m., a tired and nervous Amelia guided in again. Gas is running low. We are flying at 1 feet. We are circling but cannot see the island. Can I help you at 8:24? I mean another mistake. We're rounding and south. These were last words and John ever heard from Amelia Earhart. The United States Navy searched for the missing plane, but never found a sign of it. The headlines around the world talked about Amelia and showed pictures of her aunt's airplane. It was constantly on the radio, for it was one of the biggest stories of all time. Even today, people know about Amelia Earhart and the great mystery that has never been solved. The Navy said that she ran of gas and her plane crashed in the ocean. Other experts say that Earhart never found Howland Island, so she landed on one of a group of islands called the Marshall Island, owned by Japan. In 1937, the Japanese were preparing for war and made Amelia and her navigator prisoners. Some say Amelia was actually on a spy mission for the United States and was conquered by the Japanese. Some natives of the Marshall Islands report a plane crash with a man and woman inside. They embarked because they had never seen a woman pilot before. That report was impossible to check out in because of World War II. But in 1768, American searchers found place of an old airplane and a grave. Were these Amelia's bones? No one can be sure. Some say that the Japanese freed Amelia after World War II and that she returned the United States, but wanted to escape reporters. She changed her name to Irene Bolam and lived in New Jersey. When reporters found Irene Bolam, she looked just like Amelia, but she added she was not Amelia Earhart. Which of these explanations makes sense to you? Do you have an answer for one of the world's greatest mysteries? Thank you, teacher. See you tomorrow.